Hey guys, it's Kat. Today I'm going to be showing you how to get this green Smokey Eye for New Year's Eve. But yeah, if you want to see how to get this look, then just keep watching. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to be able to see more looks. Just stay tuned. Okay, so I already primed my face and I used the Faced Hangover RX primer and the Farsali Unicorn Essence drops. My foundation, I am going to be using the Lorac Pro-Glow, and this is in shade 202 Creamy Natural, but since I am not self-tanned right now, we gotta lighten it. Use some NYX Pro Foundation Mixer. I will be blending this in with my Real Techniques sponge. Now that we have war paint on, we're gonna blend this out. Okay, if you have dry skin, this is a very, very, very good foundation. Also, like this foundation, you can layer it in certain areas if you need extra coverage. Like for me, usually around my cheeks and my chin, I need just a touch more coverage. This foundation is also very lightweight, so it doesn't feel heavy on the skin, which I like. Alright, now I'm just going to take a little bit down my neck so we match. Now that we have our foundation on, I am going to move on to contouring, but I like doing cream contour. Like I mentioned, I have dry skin, and I usually put on my cream contour right before my concealer. For my nose contour, I use the Lorac Pro Conceal and Contour palette, and I use these two very loved shades right here. Yeah. Okay. And I just take my little Lorac brush that came with it for this. I find the pointy side is very good for the nose. So I just mix a little bit of both these shades. Put it at the bottom of my nose a little bit. And then make a very attractive face while drawing the lines down the side of your nose. Now that for my nose, I use that for my nose, and for my cheeks, my forehead, and right here in my chin, I use the Tarte Pro-Glow, and I use the cream contour shade in this. As you can see, I've hit pan on it already, so I love it. So I just go right there, make a little stripe that kind of looks weird. This process, it looks very strange till you blend it out. So don't worry, not gonna be staying like this. Get that double chin because your girl has been eating way too many sweets this holidays. I use the Morphe M436 to blend out my contour. And I kind of do a little bit of swiping up and patting in motions for this. I find that it doesn't make your foundation get disturbed, and it just really gets it in there. And if you mess up a little bit, all you have to do is go right underneath with some concealer and just clean it up, or you can do the baking method for face. I think it just gives a very nice glow and definition to the skin. Now, what I do for my nose contour to blend that out is I use my sponge, but that goes on after I put on my concealer and everything. So I am gonna make a couple dots, not a lot. You do not need a lot with this, with my Tarte Shape Tape, and they're neutral, and I just make 2 dots right under my eyes, right along my mustache, and right here where I have a couple break-ins for the Shape Tape. Then I also go in, because I'm extra, and I look crazy right now, I go in with my ColourPop No Filter Concealer in Fair 5 for a little bit extra highlighting. Get those dark circles right down the center between the contour lines, right here in the forehead and on the chin. And now we blend again using a damp Real Technique sponge. My favorite way to blend out my concealer, but if you prefer a brush, that works just as well. And I take the other side of it. It doesn't have any product on it, really. Kind of go over some spots that look a little heavy to me, and then I go over with the other side again, and just, this is mainly to soak up any excess product, then I just gently tap over it again to make sure it looks good. Other than that, voila. Now I go in with my Born This Way, Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal setting powder, and I bake just a tiny bit underneath my eyes because I crease a lot underneath my eyes, and then around my smile lines I also crease. So those are the 2 places I bake. Then the rest of my face I just set normally with just the smallest amount of powder. That way I don't look dry. Just go underneath the eyes again, gently tap out any creasing that may have formed. Dip it in and gently pat the powder into your skin. And like that, my eyes are baking underneath. And then I'll go in around the sides of my mouth, like I said, with that, and then I don't let it sit very long because I have dry skin, so I don't want it to look crusty. So I just take my little Techniques. This is this is actually supposed to be a contour brush, but I personally like to use it for powder because it fits right underneath my eyes perfectly. Pretty much all of the bacon. I just take a big powder brush from Real Techniques. This is a dual fiber face brush, and I just gently set the rest of my face. It can transfer in. I mean, it's New Year's, so you don't want it to move. Obviously, you would like your makeup to stay in place all night. Okay. Now that my face is... Okay, well, that didn't. Okay, well, since my lid decided to fly there, we're just gonna move on. Now that we have our face powdered, we are gonna move on to powder contour. And you might be wondering, well, why do 2 methods of contour? Well, for me, I like a little bit more definition, even though this is probably enough for day to day. and that's usually how I do keep it from day to day. But if I am going out, I like it to be a just smidge more defined, because I don't want to look like a potato. Oh, I am using my contour kit, my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit in light medium. I'm a mess today. Now I'm just going to do the other side. And I'm using the middle shade here, the more gray toned one, because I'm very fair, so. And then for my nose contour, I use the same shade, but I go in with a little, this is a very old brush from Icing. It's a duo smoky brush, but this side works very, very good for nose contour. So that's what I use it for. And I just go here, right there, and right there. Oh, I could also go right over here to accentuate my little upturned nose. If you want to accentuate your upper lip, what you can do is you can just take the smallest amount of your contour powder and go right in the dip of your Cupid's bow and make it look a little deeper. That's just something that I've learned. And then right underneath your bottom lip to make your lips look more pouty. And then I also go back in with my contour, Real Techniques contour brush, and I go into these two shades here. Kind of just mix them together, swirl them together, and just go right over the sides of my nose contour right here, right underneath both of my cheek contours. And then I go in with a little bit of bronzer, but I just take my Tarteist Pro-Glow kit and I take the Sculpt shade, powder shade on this side, and take just a little bit of that and I put this on the sides of my forehead and drag it down into my contour. And just blend it all together. Like so. Then comes one of my favorite parts, is highlighting. For me, I have to use very fair highlights, and I use a lot. I like to glow. For that, I also use my Tarte Pro-Glow. I take the shades Stunner and Strobe on here, and with a Morphe M143 fan kind of brush, I just gently pick up two of those shades and put it on the tops of my cheekbones, going up into my brow bone area a little bit. I just take that on my cheekbones, then tiny bit just on the bridge of my nose, like right on top of my Cupid's bow. And then I go in with my Morphe MB23 little brush. I think it's for eyeshadow, but I use it for highlight because I like a precise one. Then I take ColourPop pressed powder face highlighter And it does not have the name on here, but this is what it looks like. It's just a very pale white gold color. And so I mix strobe from my Tarte Pro-Glow with this and just go right on the very high points of my cheekbones and a little underneath my brow bone. And then some tip of the nose, a little on my bridge, and then right on my Cupid's bow. And there we go. Highlight done. Now just gonna put on some blush. And I just use a Mary Kay brush that I have for blush. And I'm gonna take my Too Faced Love Flush in the shade Love Hangover, which looks just like this. So I take it on my cheeks, up onto here a little bit for a sun-kissed glow. And a more natural flush. And then a tiny bit on my nose. Well, let's set it. Set all the powders down with the Hangover 3-in-1 Replenishing Primer and Setting Spray. Now that my setting spray has dried, I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows off camera. I will be doing how I do my eyebrows tutorial, so you'll see how I do that. But just to save some time, I'm gonna go ahead and do them off camera. And like that, eyebrows are done. And remember, eyebrows are sisters, not twins. In case you're wondering, I use the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in Espresso for filling in my eyebrows. Then to set them down in place, I use the Brow Stylist Plumper from L'Oreal, which I did not put on, so put that on now. Just like that. Alrighty, now we are gonna move on to the eyes. To prime my eyelids, I am going to use my Mary Kay eye primer. Very simple, just you can use concealer, just anything that's tacky to be able to set down your eyes. So I'm just going to pat this on my eyelids. Just like so, and then set it down using just any powder or even a flesh toned or white eyeshadow, which is what I'm gonna do right now. Using my base shadow brush from Real Techniques and going into the white chocolate bar palette by Too Faced, which smells amazing. I'm gonna take Glaze, which is just a white shade, and gently dust it onto my eyeballs. Like that. Your eyes are set. Now I'm gonna be taking my Morphe M30 brush, and I'm gonna take from the same palette the shade Cake Batter. Right here is just a nice little warm light brown, and I'm just gonna plop that in the crease. And I'm using windshield wiper motions and circular motions to just disperse this all over the crease and gently fade it upwards. Just slightly, just smoke it out. We have a nice transition color in place. And there you go, got a transition color in place now. They'll make other shadows to blend easier later on and create a very nice gradient. Now, go in with So Bougie, this shade right here. And it's a little bit darker than Cake Batter was. And I'm just gonna put that in the crease too with the same brush. And it's going in almost the exact same place, just slightly underneath, and it's just gonna give a little more depth. It's always better to build up color instead of putting a ton on at once, because you can add color but you cannot take away color. And I'm doing the same motions with my brush, and I'm doing a very light hand here to make it easier to blend. If you need help, if you find yourself going in with a heavy hand, hold the very base of the brush, and that will give you less control, and it won't let you push down on your eye very hard. Just a little tip there. Okay, so now that we have that in place, I zoomed y'all in so you can see my eyes better. And I'm gonna go ahead and dip into my Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. And I'm going to take on a M433 brush from Morphe, I'm going to pick up shade Pukey, I think it's called, right here. And I'm gonna take that into the crease with this brush. And I'm putting this lower than the other shades we used. And always have your other brush handy with no extra product. All I do is I just gently start blending that color together, like so. And then we're gonna do the same with the other eye. So now that we have that color blended into the crease, I'm going to take my Morphe M507 brush, tiny little dense crease brush. And I'm gonna go into the Chocolate Gold palette from Too Faced again. And I'm gonna be taking the shade Cocoa Truffle right here. And this, I'm gonna focus on the outer corner of the eye, so right here. And I'm just gonna start building this darker brown up. Then I'm just gonna do the same to the other eye. These shadows blend out very nicely. And then I'm gonna go back in with my Morphe M433 brush, no extra product, and just, again, kind of feather that out in both eyes. Don't want any harsh lines. I am not doing a cut crease. And then going back in with our very first brush, just feather it out and blend. Just like so. And I am just, any fallout that there could be, even though I'm not seeing any at the moment, just brushing that away. Now, for the lid of the eye, I'm going to go ahead and do a green because I have amber colored eyes. They look pretty brown right now, but they are amber. And green really pulls out a lot of the gold tones in my eyes. So I am really can't wait to dip into this shade. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna dip into the shade Money Bag. Take some NYX glitter primer. That way it sticks to my lid. Alrighty, now going in with my little concealer brush and my MAC Fix Plus. If you do not have Fix Plus, just use a setting spray. Works just as well. Or even water. I'm just gonna sprit my brush a tiny bit and then dip it into the Money Bag shade. Oh yes. And I'm gonna pack this on the open space on my lid. Oh my god, that pigment though. Do you see this? Do you see this? Okay, yeah, okay, good job, Too Faced. That is a beautiful shade. Okay, I see you. She pigmented. I'm just gently going over the edges of this and blending a little bit to make sure that no harsh lines. Gently going around it. Oh my gosh, I don't even know if the camera's doing it justice, but this shade is so beautiful in real life. And I'm just gonna gently blend around. And then on this same little brush, the Morphe M507, I'm gonna dip into the shade Decadent, which is just a black shade. It's just a black shade in the chocolate gold palette. And we are gonna start packing or gently applying this to the outer corners of the eyes for a nice transition from that green into the darker outer corners, like so. And just go back, picking up a tiny bit of So Bougie from the same chocolate gold palette on my Morphe blending brush and just gently going around the edges, smoking it out a bit, like that. And now I'm gonna do the other eye. So now we have this on our eyes, and on to the shadow on the the lower lash line. So I'm gonna grab my Morphe MB26 brush, which looks like this very tiny dense brush, very precise. And I'm gonna take Cocoa Truffle and some Decadent, the black shade from the chocolate gold palette, on my lower lash line. My lower lash line, like so. Just do the other eye. Connect it. Like so. And then I'm going to take a little, this is a little brush that came with one of my Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. I'm taking this side right here, and I'm going to go into So Bougie on that and just blend that out a little bit, soften it a little bit so it's not so harsh. out my eyeshadow routine just to clean anything, if there is anything underneath. There hasn't been so far. I'm very impressed. And now you could do wing liner with this and everything. I'm just personally probably not going to do that today because with wing liner I usually have to put on falsies and I'm just not in the mood for falsies today. So I am going to go ahead and highlight my inner corners now. I'm going back into the Jaclyn Hill palette and I am taking this second shade right here, the shimmering white gold, on a brush that I got from one of my Urban Decay Smoky palette, and taking the little pencil side and dipping into that. Doing my inner corners is probably one of my favorite things. I like very highlighted inner corners, so this is for preference. So I'm gonna start working in my inner corners. It just brightens up the eyes a lot. You can take the other side of this brush, or take your blending brush, whatever you have, and gently blend the outsides of it. Or more if you want more. And once that's done, don't know if you can tell the difference. I definitely can, but to each his own. I'm just doing the same to the other eye now. Now that we have that highlighted, we are going to do the brow bone. Now you can go for a shimmery color, a matte white or lighter color, or more of a satin. I'm using a satin using the same brush and the very first shade in my Jaclyn Hill palette, and going right beneath the highest arch point of my brow bone and then blending it out slightly like that, and it just brightens that area right up like so. Now for my eyeliner in my waterline, I am doing just a black kohl liner on a tight line. So tight line real quick, and then I will be right back. Now that that's done, I'm gonna go onto my waterline. Now you could do black on the waterline also. I personally am gonna go in with a brown or a metallic brown. This is the ColourPop cream gel liner in Overboard, and do this on my waterline. It's not as harsh and doesn't close my eyes nearly as much as black would. So yeah, that is what I'm gonna be doing. Now that that's done, we are going to curl our lashes. Personally, I must always curl my lashes because my lashes like to stand straight. So I'm gonna curl my lashes real quick and then we'll apply mascara. Okay, so I put my mascara on and curled my lashes. I used the Too Faced Better Than Sex waterproof mascara. I like this one because it really holds the curl of my lashes. And now we're gonna finish this look off with the lips. I'm gonna be lining my lips with the Mary Kay lip liner in the color Neutral. I'm gonna be doing a nude lip with this look. Just line your lips. Like so. the Mary Kay lipstick in Bashful You. It's a comfort matte, I think, for formula. So this is the color I'm going to be going with today. Like so. And now just spritz the face again. And this is the completed look. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I just took down my hair and chucked on a black long sleeve t-shirt, but I hope you all have a safe and happy New Year's, and I'll see you next time.